So let's talk about loops. Loops are another really important structure in programming. So here's an example of what loops are about with respect to coffee again. And so with a loop, you'll have some information to begin with. And in my case, I want to have dollars are equal to 100. Okay, so I want to have $100. And then I'm going to go into a test condition. And in this test condition, I want to know if my dollars are greater than 0. Is that the case? And if it is, then we're going to execute some code. If it's not, then we exit this loop completely. We break out of it. All right? So here's what's going to happen right here in MATLAB. We're going to set up some code. We're going to say dollar is equal to 100. So I've got $100. I'm going to set up something called a while loop. So while dollars are greater than 0, I hit end. So I now have the beginning and end of my while loop. I'm going to say display, I order another coffee. Like that. I close the quote, hit semicolon, and then I'm going to say that every time I order a coffee, I'm going to have less money. So dollar is equal to dollar minus 5. So I had a certain amount of money, I ordered my coffee, and it cost $5, so now I have less money. I have $5 less. Once the while loop is all done, I will say display, I finished drinking coffee. Like that. All right. So here we go. I'm going to set up a breakpoint right there. I'm going to save my file by clicking on there, and I'm going to hit run. So now we can see in the command window that I am entering my debug mode. This up here has changed as well. And I'm going to step through my code. I'm going to step once. Dollar has now been set to equal 0, and there we see it right there. And I'm now about to enter my while loop. So from the perspective of my loop over here, that got done, and now I'm over here. I'm ready to test. Okay, so I go while dollar is greater than 0. It should be. So I go step, and it should say I ordered another coffee in the window right here. I go step, dollar is equal to dollar minus 5. Take a look over in the workspace. Dollar was 100, and now it's 95. I step, and notice that that arrow, instead of proceeding down, went back up. It went to line 4. I step. It says down here, I order another coffee. Step. Dollar has now changed to 90. We hit step again. It goes up to line 4. Display is about to happen. I hit the step button right there. It says I order another coffee. Step again. Dollar is equal to 85. So I'm going to go step, 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 step. And as I keep hitting step, there's more displaying of ordering coffee, and my dollar value keeps going down by 5 until I get to 10, 5, and I have one more run through here. So step, I order another coffee, dollar is going to be 5 less. All right, I've now gotten to line 6. My dollar value is 0. I hit step one more time. And now we don't go up to line 4 because dollar is equal to 0. And that effectively means that this while test right here is going to be false. And then I should be able to display I finished drinking coffee. And there you have it, a while loop. So let's change this up a little bit and do another example. Okay, so the next example we're going to do is going to be with respect to maximum coffee. Okay, so here I'm going to say coffee max is equal to 3, which means effectively I should only have 3 cups of coffee every day. Now I'm going to set up something called a for loop. So for I, which is my increment, is equal to 1 in increments of 1 to a maximum value of coffee max, which is 3. I'm going to have an end for my for loop. I'm going to go to the middle of my for loop, and I'm going to say display I had a coffee, like that. And then at the end of my for loop, after I've had 3 coffees, I'm going to display I had enough coffee, like that. Okay. Now I'm going to run this program, and basically what will happen is that I will have that coffee max is equal to 3 will be set before my for loop, and then I'm going to loop through here and the test is going to be, have I reached coffee maximum? And if that's false, then I'm going to proceed and do my display. And then when it's true, it's going to break out. Okay? So basically, if it's false, then the code inside will be executed. So I had enough. And otherwise it breaks out. So let's try it out. So I'm going to save this code right here. I'm going to set up a breakpoint right there. I'm now going to hit run. I am now in debug mode, ready to execute this line right here. Now notice over in my workspace, I didn't clear my workspace from before. So the earlier loop that I ran, where I had a dollar value set, that's still equal to 0. But it doesn't matter because we're not going to use dollar. But it's just important to know that if you don't clear your workspace, any variables that were there before will remain there. Okay, so I've got coffee max equal to 3. I hit step, and take a look over here in the workspace. Coffee max is now equal to 3. I'm going to hit step. I've now entered inside of my for loop, and notice that a new variable has appeared. That's the variable I. This is my increment. It's now equal to 1. I'm going to step. We can see that the message I had a coffee has been displayed. We're now going to hit step again, and look, we went back up to line 4 when we were in line 5 before. I, the increment, has been set to 2 because of this statement up here. The for loop has done the increment for us. Is coffee max equal to 3? Yes, but have we reached 3 in the for loop? So is effectively I equal to coffee max? And the answer is no, not yet. Another way of writing the for loop test is as follows. If I write the following, is I equal to coffee max? And we test to see if it's not true, if it's false. Okay? If that statement is false, then we execute the code. If it's true, then effectively we exit like that. And there you have how a for loop works.